Babadoa Chi-Chi-Cho, Duel Commander, go, go, go. Duel Commander on the way, Babadoa Chi-Chi-Che. Like and subscribe, please.
Hello, Babadoa Chi Cho. Welcome to another episode of Duelcast MTG. Today, I am playing Asmo. I'm not going to try to pronounce the full name, I'm just not that committed to it. This is a deck that was requested in the comments of a prior video. Again, if there's a deck you want to see played, or just like a deck tech or whatever, leave it in the comments and I will get to it. So, Asmo was restricted banned as commander for quite a long time and recently came off the ban list, and it's put up some results but hasn't been, a format issue the way Edric was when that was temporarily unbanned. So Asmo is a 0 mana spell. As long as you've discarded a card this turn, you may pay hybrid red black to cast this spell. Asmo is a 3/3, effectively for 1, and when Asmo enters, you search your library for the Underworld Cookbook, put it into your hand, then shuffle, and you can sacrifice 2 foods for target creature to deal 6 damage to itself. So Asmo in the command zone is really, really powerful. You have a 1 mana 3/3 with card draw by getting the cookbook, and then removal stapled onto it. So this deck kind of plays like having 2 commanders in the Underworld Cookbook. Asmo is a beater that then gets you your engine. The Underworld Cookbook is a 1 mana artifact. Tap it to discard a card and create a food token. So you can see the synergy there. It gives you discard to recast Asmo and makes foods to turn on Asmo's removal. Then for 4, tap and sacrifice the cookbook. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. I don't know that will come up, but it could. It's extra text on the card that could be very useful. So Asmo is a high synergy deck that wants to play a super, super aggressive game plan and just get going fast and attack your opponent down. So in order to get this deck going, we really just want to discard cards. A turn 1 Asmo is kind of going to be our nut draw, and we have 3 really good options for that. Circling Vultures is a card I had actually never seen before this deck. It is a 3/2 flying for 1. During your upkeep, remove the top creature card of your graveyard from the game, or sacrifice Circling Vultures. This has the nice old text of bury Circling Vultures. If this card is in your hand, you may discard it, play this ability as an instant. So you free discard Circling Vultures, cast Asmo. We have a Fairy Macabre and a Street Wraith. Street Wraith cycles for 2 life. Fairy Macabre discards itself to exile up to 2 cards from graveyards. Fairy Macabre in certain matchups is the only one I would consider not just immediately pitching for a turn 1 Asmo, but it is probably almost always more useful to get your Asmo out on turn 1 if it's in your opener. Street Wraith, Fairy Macabre, and Circling Vultures also attack and block. Street Wraith has Swamp Walk, these 2 fly. Then the other ways we want to easily discard cards is Cyclers. So we have 3 cycling lands, a black source and a red source, and an Ash Barrens. These are tapped lands, but the important part is that they cycle for 1, and Ash Barrens has basic land cycling. Then we have a bunch of spells that do it that are also just really useful. Locust Spray is 1 mana removal for their turn 1 small creature. Marauding Mako is really more of a discard payoff in this deck, but if you're stalled and just need to get Asmo and your engine, it does have cycling too. Scarab Feast for some graveyard hate. Spark Spray for little creature hate. Unearth is definitely more useful as a spell, but just like the Mako, it does have the cycling upside. Dranith Stinger, because we're playing so many cyclers, this can deal a good amount of damage. Whenever you cycle another card, it deals 1 damage to each opponent, and it's a 2 mana 2/2. Sky Crash for artifact removal, and then Oliphant and Troll for land cyclers. These are really great. They feel like a combo with Detective's Phoenix. The list that I found on MTG Top 8 that I tinkered with didn't have an animate dead, and I didn't add one. I don't know if that's right or wrong. Then we have a bunch of other ways to just discard cards. Bloodthorn Flail is a card I saw in a standard Rakdos Monument deck. This card's sweet for an aggressive strategy that wants to discard cards. It's a free discard outlet that gives your creature +2/+1, and in a pinch can just be equipped for 3. I think this card is cool. Bone Shards and Bitter Triumph for removal, Faithless Looting for card selection, Lightning Axe, 1 mana deals 5 damage to target creature. As an additional cost to cast this spell, discard a card or pay 5. So I don't imagine it will come up paying 6 for it because we are such a land light deck, but it's there. Putrid Imp for free discard, as well as Iron Shield Elf. This is the other card I took from that Rakdos Monument deck that discards cards for free. It attacks really well and gives itself indestructible. I am definitely interested in seeing how this card performs in this deck. FOMO as a good aggressive threat that also fixes our hand. Inti for that little bit of card advantage and getting Asmo out. Party Thrasher, non-creature spells you cast from exile have Convoke. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you may discard a card. If you do, exile the top 2 cards of your library, then choose one of them. You may play that card this turn. Party Thrasher is an all-star in this deck. It's also a 1/4. It blocks really well. It just gives you all the card selection. We're going to be hellbent a good amount of the time discarding cards for value. So I think Party Thrasher is really nice here. Rakdos Headliner is sweet. Black and a red for a 3/3 haste with Echo discard a card. Just super, super aggressive and synergizes with the thing we want to be doing anyway. We have a bunch of discard payoffs. These are the cards that accrue us value whenever we discard a card. Some madness stuff. A couple of madness cards. There was a Detective's Phoenix in this section that shouldn't have been. I don't know why it was in this one. But these are the cards that give us value immediately from discarding. Currency Converter to make bodies and get treasures. Moonshadow is kind of the main threat in that Rakdos Monument deck that I've mentioned a couple times now. I think on turn 1 in this deck, this card is really easy to get all the way up to a 7/7, and it has Menace. I've been jamming this in black decks. I think this is probably the best one I've tried with Moonshadow. Stalactite Stalker as our much slower Moonshadow that can also be removal. Ivora Insatiable Air. This card is sweet. 1/1 trample for 1 and a red. When she enters or deals combat damage to a player, create a blood token. Blood token, if you don't know, is 1 tap and sack it, discard and draw. And whenever you discard a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Ivora. So if you have one of your free discard outlets, this thing can just become a 6/6 trample super fast. Anji's Ravager, like I said, we're going to be hellbent quite a bit. So pitching this, casting it for 2 with its madness. If it sticks around and you get an attack, you discard your hand and draw 3. This can be really nice to refill our hand. Fiery Temper as our madness lightning bolt. Monument to Endurance may very well just be our strongest card. If you have the engine going, Monument replaces the cards, ramps you, or most importantly, just domes your opponent for 3. This card will get the game over with in a hurry in this deck. Then we have Carnage Crimson Chaos. Carnage is sweet. I don't know what the Spider-Man paper version is, but it is a 4/3 trample. When Carnage enters, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains this creature attacks each combat if able, and when this creature deals combat damage to a player, sacrifice it. It has Mayhem, red and black. Mayhem is if it's been discarded this turn, you may cast it for its Mayhem cost. This can be a late game finisher or really early pressure. I think this card is sweet in this deck as well. We've got a little bit of rinse and repeat with the Underworld Cookbook. Squee Goblin Nabob. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may return him from your graveyard to your hand. So you pitch him with the cookbook, bring him back, and just get repetitive value off of the cookbook discard. And then Oval Chase Daredevil is also a combo with the cookbook. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you may return Daredevil from your graveyard to your hand. So you pitch Daredevil with the cookbook. Cookbook makes the food, Daredevil comes right back into your hand. These cards they feel like combos in this deck. Then we have a bunch of things that want to come back from the graveyard. Bloodghast, landfall, it comes back. Detective's Phoenix, you can cast from your graveyard with its bestow by collecting evidence 6, and then gives your creature evasion, a buff, and haste. Poxwalkers is really cool because our commander is cheap to cost. Our commander is cheap to cast, and we have other things that want to come out of the graveyard. Poxwalkers being essentially a free 3/1 death touch is really, really nice. Skyfire Phoenix, when we discard, we always want to discard this before we cast Asmo if that option is available, and then we just get a 3/3 haste for free. Ox of Agonis. How I love the Ox. If you are newer to Magic, you may not know Ox of Agonis. It is a 4/3 for 3 and 2 red. When it enters the battlefield, discard your hand and draw 3. It has escape for red, exile 8 other cards from your graveyard. We are generally going to have a full graveyard, and a 4/2 that can't really come back super early is generally going to just draw us 3 cards. Then we have Sabin Master Monk. This was another card I have not seen other than in this deck. It is 4 and a red for Double Striker, a 4/3, but it has Blitz, 2/2 red, discard a card. You may cast this card from your graveyard using its Blitz ability. So it's a 4 mana, 4/3 Double Striker. It's great to discard and bring back as a super aggressive attacker. Like I said, this is a high synergy deck, and everything, I think, makes good sense to me. Then we have some tutors. Urza Saga, our only targets are the cookbook itself and Currency Converter, but those are basically our 2 strongest cards. Currency Converter is also, just a huge discard payoff. If Asmo is getting countered and you haven't been able to get the cookbook, Saga just puts it into play. Gamble has functioned for me in the few games I've played with this deck as Entomb. Like, just throwing a Detective's Phoenix into your graveyard feels so good. It can also be early game cast Asmo. A little dangerous if you like your hand, but really, really nice if you have a bunch of stuff you want to discard. Demonic Tutor as sort of just the must-play black card in the format. And Buried Alive to stock our graveyard with those things that want to come back. The Bloodghast, the Detective's Phoenix, the Skyfire Phoenix. Buried Alive is awesome in this. Then we're playing a lot of good Rakdos Disruption. Chain Lightning, Duress, Fatal Push, Galvanic Discharge, Inquisition of Kozilek, Thoughtseize, Lightning Bolt. All the best Rakdos Disruption. Blood Tithe Harvester is nice in this deck. I have it in Disruption because it can remove pesky blockers, but it is a 3/2 for Rakdos. Tap it, sacrifice this creature. Target creature gets -X/-X until end of turn. X is twice the number of blood tokens you control, and when it enters, you create a blood. This card goes really, really well with Ivora, and the bloods are great. They synergize with everything we want to do. Voidwalker for Graveyard Hate, and if this is on the battlefield, some decks just can't win. Emperor of Bones as a little bit of Reanimate and Graveyard Hate. Hexing Squelcher. I think this card might just be an auto-include in red decks at this point. I've talked about it a good amount in other deck techs, but it is a 2/2 for 1 and a red. Can't be countered, ward, pay 2 life. Your spells can't be countered, and your creatures have ward, pay 2 life. Bowmaster, punish blue decks. Boggart Trawler for Graveyard Hate. Broadside, my least favorite card in the entire world. Super aggressive, great attacker with Menace. You fling stuff for removal. The foods are just become damage. Broadside's really good. I hate it. Sundering Eruption to get rid of a pesky land as our other MDFC. Grief, Pyrokinesis, Fury. Then we've got some things that are just beaters. Goyfs go phenomenally well in this deck, putting things into the graveyard, choosing what you discard to grow them. And then Gao is awesome. 1 and a red for a 2/2 with Rage. Whenever Gao attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And at the beginning of each end step, if a card left your graveyard this turn, Gao deals damage equal to his power to each opponent. With all of those cards that want to come back out of the graveyard, Gao can deal a lot of damage really quickly in this deck. Some utility lands, Arena of Glory, haste up our stuff. Shinko, if our opponent is like me and doesn't pay enough attention to lands, can kind of be a combat trick with giving First Strike. Shizo to give Fear. And then our channel lands, Sokenzen and Takanuma. They're expensive to discard, so I don't see these being really things to discard to cast Asmo, but they can be. So Kenzin makes a couple bodies, Takanuma mills, and brings cards back to your hand. And then we have 25 lands that make mana. We are only playing 36 lands. One of them is Urza Saga, so it disappears. A bunch of them are tapped lands to cycle. So we are land light, but shouldn't need that many. We want to just get the game over with fast, be super aggressive, and make our opponents not be there anymore. So this is Asmo. I am not a Rakdos player in paper, but I think this deck is cool, and I am looking forward to playing it, so let's go duel. All right, round 1 on the play against Grist. I really like the bone shards here. I don't like the 4 lands. I don't love Carnage. I'm going to mulligan this for something a little more aggressive. This is more aggressive. It casts a turn 2 Asmo, which I think is fine. I think I do want Broadside. Locust Spray gets rid of one of their mana dorks or like tiny things. I'm going to keep this and put back the headliner, I think. Although, we have a really nice curve. Maybe it's Faithless Looting. I think it's Faithless Looting. Yeah. So I'm going to... The curve is looking like Inquisition, Headliner, or... Yeah. Inquisition, Headliner, discard a card, Asmo, or we can just go Broadside. Ooh. Playing Rakdos. Have no idea what I'm doing. Power Winder is really annoying. Arcane Signet I don't super care about. I'm going to get rid of the Tower Winder. They have Hogak in hand, which the card might just be really hard to beat. Oh, you know what? Since my little magic preview thingy is still not here, can I just put revealed cards here? I'm going to forget about them, but it's something to like fill the screen, I guess. They Surveil, and they kept the card on top. Hate that for us. Bitter Triumph is a really nice draw here. So let's get attacking. Here's a headliner. I didn't attack. Oh no. Is it going to be one of these leagues? Oh no. Andrew! They should be at 16. Damage is really important. Dust Bowl, Arcane Signet. I don't want to see Skull Clamp. Oh, I forgot to attack. That was so bad. Reverse the Ulvenwald. They just get to put a basic in their hand. Discard the Locust Spray. Land is fine. Let's remember to attack this time. In for 3. Let's cast Asmo. They should be at 13, but I stink at this game. Cookbook, cast it, and pass. They should be at 13. Ayah. All right, I'm just gonna, if I leave the revealed cards there, I'm just gonna be fiddling the whole time. I'm gonna be fiddling anyway. I'm fidgety. Here's Grist. Grist makes a guy. I don't want to discard anything. Ooh, Squelch. Can't cast it yet. I want to just kill Grist here. I can do that with Broadside. Let's just go Bitter Triumph here. I'm going to pay the 3 life. Kill Grist. Go to combat. Attack for 6. No, don't have anything. Why would you have things? Fatal Pushing the Headliner. Makes sense to me. They didn't want to block, which I think is almost certainly right. I guess I could have discarded... Yeah, I could have discarded the Squelcher, made a food, and thrown the food. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. Grist pluses again. Don't mind that. What do I do here? Oh, gosh, that's right. They can just cast Hogak. Yuck. Yuck. How do I beat Hogak? I used the Bitter Triumph. Bone Shards, I guess? Arena. I think I just want to discard. I can kill Grist again, which I am interested in. And I guess I can kill Hogak eventually. Pitch the Arena. I think I'm probably dead, though. They should be at 10, just saying. Why am I doing that? Why am I clicking through combat? What am I missing? Oh, man. I think I can just concede this game. What the heck? The heck am I doing? I'm so confused. Yeah, okay. GG. Well, I don't actually know why I clicked through combat there. I feel like I was going through my regular, clicky procedure. Odd. I will certainly try to pay more attention this game. I think, realistically, I think we lose anyway. They just had 10 power and toughness on board and 8/8 trampler that it was going to take me a while to deal with. We don't really gain life at all. That still felt very strange. All right, so we're on the play again. I almost like this hand, but I don't think I do. I'm going to mulligan. This is also not great, but at least it... I think we have to mulligan for turn 2 Asmo. And Voidwalker is really good, even though we're pretty far from casting it. I think I'll get rid of the Drannith Stinger. Yeah, I'll get rid of the Draenei Stinger. It stinks that we have colorless land, tapped land, but I think this hand is good enough to keep. They go Misty Rainforest, fetch immediately, probably a mana dork here. Reverse, so they'll put a basic into their hand. It is a swamp. I'll basic cycle the Ash Barrens for Fatal Push. I'll basic cycle this for a swamp. And then I can either Inquisition. I'm just gonna cast Asmo. I think that's the best bet. Although if they have a removal spell, I'm gonna cast Asmo. Go get our cookbook and say go. I think, and I could very well be wrong, but I think with this deck we always just want to rip Asmo to get the cookbook. The cookbook is actually our most important card. Black Source off the top for a Voidwalker would be sick. Wall of Blossoms. Interesting. And really annoying. How do we beat no for? Black Source off the top, untap Black Source. I'll Inquisition them later. I wanna get set up here. Oh right, we have a Fatal Push for the stupid wall. I think this is still a much better turn. But we will be able to get through on Grist if they don't kill this Voidwalker, which I think they need to do. And I don't think they should really care about this Wall of Blossoms. Okay, I have to exile a card from my hand, no problem. I'm going to get rid of this Phoenix, I think. Yeah, I'll just get rid of the Phoenix. And then they'll duress me, probably taking Inquisition. Okay, we're going to go to our next turn here without making a... Oh, sick. Moonshadow. I think I pitch Ivora here. I'll pitch Ivora. That card was my plan, but it is not any longer. And then we'll Fatal Push the Wall of Blossoms and come in for a bunch of damage. All right, didn't click through it this time. Still pretty annoyed about the prior combat click-throughs. They're at 12. We're hellbent, but we have a lot of damage on board. I feel like they kind of have to kill the Moonshadow. TBH. Life from the Loam. Sick. I love to see a good Loam. I am working on a Bant Loam deck, my own self, that I might just play next league, actually. Savine's Reclamation and Cosmic Rebirth. Hell of a drug. So if I draw a permanent, we've got 9 damage, because we just kill this with foods. But they're leaving 2 mana up, and they have 6 cards in hand, so I think probably just have removal. I also don't know if sacking the food triggers the Moonshadow. 1 mana short of this being absolute freaking monster. Let's discard him right away. Trigger Moonshadow. Kill your guy. Asmo is powerful. Go to combat and attack you for 9. Things are happening. I don't like when things happen. Childred's Edict. I'm going to just sack and recast Asmo. Oh, and that grew the Moonshadow too. Sick. So they're taking 7 anyway. This deck is so aggressive. All right, just trampled right through. I think Voidwalker is responsible for that one. And not clicking through combat with your deck that has to attack, pretty important. Game 3 with a turn 1 Asmo, I'm keeping it. Galvanic Discharge is also awesome, and Voidwalker, I think, like, really put them in a spot last game. So this hand looks awesome. Reverse the Ulvenwald again. I was under the impression, having not played the deck, that Grist always, like, wanted a mulligan to, like, ramp on board to kind of go, like, your mana wants to be 1/3/4. I almost just clicked through this whole turn. What is happening? Ooh, Stalactite Stalker. What is happening? Why did we just skip a turn? Oh no, okay. Oh god, I just freaked out. I cycled the Street Wraith at the wrong time. It was still their end step. Oh no, honey. Real bad. Real bad. That's alright, we still have a turn 2 Asmo. Obviously, I'd prefer to have Asmo into Voidwalker. I need to talk a lot less and play a lot more. All right, let's cycle this Ash Barrens because I'm a fool. And all right, untilt, stabilize here, kiddo. Play our Mountain, cast Asmo. I would like to use the ability and get the cookbook. We have the Daredevil in hand, which is nice. We should be so far ahead right now, and instead, oh man, that's right. Next turn we have Voidwalker plus cookbook. But yeah, Street Wraith is our like best opening card, and I just pitched it off to nothing. Whew, not great. Because now we would have they couldn't safely cast Grist because we would just kill it in combat. Maybe I just shoot down their blocker. That's the same thing as just discharging on Grist though. Demonic Tutor, not what I want to see. Not what I want to see at all. Tell me what you got. Just Fatal Pushing Asmo? Yeah, okay. I really don't think that's what they would have gotten. Yeah, I don't think you rip a demonic tutor to fatal push my commander that comes back, but I don't know. Here's the cookbook, here's the Voidwalker, and now we can just like shoot down Grist no matter what. And I'll pass the turn. And we have our like big food engine going. That's pretty nice. But we should just be so like insanely far ahead and already pushing damage and all of the things. Oh my gosh, actual pox. Okay. Real pox. So I have to discard 2 cards. We'll go land Daredevil. I do have to sacrifice the Voidwalker. That's okay. And then I have to sack a land. Oh, I shouldn't have pitched that land. That was silly. I'll sack the basic mountain. Pox, baby. Oh, Besage. They didn't want to use that on the cookbook. They clearly just wanted to cast Pox, and I respect the heck out of it. I don't think I discard anything here. I want to mayhem this guy. Yeah. So we'll discard this guy. That'll bring the Daredevil back to our hand. Daredevil comes back. We cast this fella, Carnage. He brings back Douthie Voidwalker. And so when it deals damage to a player, we have to sacrifice it. I think we can just punch Grist with it. They're down to 2 cards in hand. And I'll probably cycle this Stinger looking for a land. Ooh, Mako. Oh, no, no, no. Oop. Clicked on the food instead of Bookie Bookie. Grow the Mako. Bowmaster. I'm going to cycle this Stinger to save the Mako and draw the card before the Bowmaster comes down. I do still want that land. Hey, we did it. I prefer it be a red land, but it's still fine. Okay, Mako survives. We bring back the Daredevil, play our land, go to combat, declare attackers, not click through. Voidwalker will get sacrificed. They'll be at 6, and we'll pass. They have a bunch of problems to deal with, even though I feel like I've made every mistake possible in this game. Like, I shouldn't have discarded the land, all the things. It's fine. I will block the Bowmaster. I think it's probably a Wrath, but if it's Deluge, we just bolt them in the head. It's Deluge, we just bolt them in the head. Okay, GG. Hey, okay. Well, I played that entire match basically as poorly as possible, but the deck is strong. Hey, some of you may know that I'm an author. This is my first novel that came out in 2018 from Lanternfish Press out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, The Vampire Gideon Suicide Hotline and Halfway House for Orphan Girls. This is a dark comedy about mental health in which a vampire runs a suicide hotline. People call and say how hard life is. His response is that being dead isn't really great. This book comes with heavy trigger warnings. Please find them online. But if you're liking the content, you may like it. There's a link in the description. Thanks so much. All right, round 2. On the draw against Muxus, Gabos. I think I would keep this hand with a black source. Fury's really good. I mean, the cards are good. We just don't have black mana. It's still a turn 2 Asmo. I'll try it. Try it for science. I think Fury's probably just insane in this matchup. I haven't played against Muxus much at all. Party Thrasher's a fine draw. I'll go Mountain Pass. Sandstone Needle, baby. Depletion land. So they're just, yeah, I mean, it makes a ton of sense. They're just trying to ramp out Muxus. I think the Iron Shield Elf is probably really good here as an indestructible creature. Little goblin, little 1/1 hasty beater. All right, this guy can make a freaking dragon. I kind of just want to Fury these two before this can make a 4/4 dragon. I don't think it's really a great use of Fury, but I also don't want to play against a 4/4 dragon. We're down to 4 cards already. Mako is cool. I should have cycled and seen if I hit a black source. It doesn't matter. I'm just casting Asmo this turn. Ugh. That is a black source next turn. Here's Asmo. Get the cookbook. Fury your creatures. Pitching Party Thrasher. Just go 2/2. All right. I think we're ahead by basically every metric. 1/1 haste. Whenever he or another creature you control enters, that creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. For 4 mana, he creates a guy. Got it. Oh. Barogoyf is quite good. I should have played the Mako before doing that. I got excited by Barogoyf. I think I want to go Cookbook Duress. Let's see what these 3 cards are. Oh, Recruiter. Oh, Recruiter. And they're at 2, 3, 4. They're only at 5 mana next turn. That's really bad, though. Attack for 3. That Recruiter's really bad for us. What do I do about that? I don't think really anything, because how do we stop Muxus from even coming in? Where's his incubator first? Okay. Spark Spray deals with that, if we can find that card. You got it. Let's discard Iron Shield Elf here. Play our Blood Crypt, untap, play the Mako, play the Barrogoyf, attack for 3. And then I'll discard this Ravager and not Madness it to remove something scary. Like, what's the goblin that just gives everything haste? Just kill that one before they go to combat, I guess. There might be multiple. I don't really know how goblins work. TBH. I think we're pretty cooked, though. Yeah, we're dead. I can let them do the thing. I can ask them, like, do you want to do the thing? I want to see. I want to see how many goblins you're getting. Obviously, like, Pile Driver, War Chief, Matron probably doesn't matter, but you can get it anyway. Oh, they're going for Kiki Jiki combo. I can stop that. I think I'm still dead, but like Muxus doesn't put Kiki Jiki out. I don't see a conspicuous Snoop. I don't have any Wrath. Pretty sure we're like super duper mega dead. Oh, they get to bounce. Yeah, this is over. Goblins. We got gobbled. We got gobbed. We got gobbled to oblivion. I guess I could have let everything resolve and then, used Asmo to food kill something, but that wasn't winnable. On the play where we want to be, I'd love a turn 1 Asmo, hee hee. We do have a turn 1 Asmo. Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is a matchup where, like, Fairy Macabre is, like, really reasonable interaction. And we have Boggart Trawler if that turns out not to be the case, I guess. Badlands. Do I have to make the obligatory it's a Badlands joke? Is asking the question the same as making the joke, fundamentally? Probably. It's also nice to have Fairy Macabre in the graveyard or Phoenix. It's just 3 of that mana. I don't want to see Goblin Lackey. Impulsive Pilferer. When it dies, you create a treasure and it's got Encore. Okay. I think I want to Inquisition them and see what's going on here. Oh gosh, I don't know what any goblins do. Oh, Lackey. I'm taking that. Just want to read this thing too. Yeah, I'm taking Lackey for sure. That was the card I named as the thing I didn't want to see, so we'll take it. They'll block to make a treasure. What is this thing? Trash Master. It's a lord that blows up artifacts. Dang it. Can I get a hasty Voidwalker this turn? I can by pitching Buried Alive. Do I believe in that? I think I do just have to. I think the only way we win this game is just by making them dead super quickly. So we'll pitch the Phoenix as the obvious one. Through a land. Yeah, I'm gonna pitch the Buried Alive so we can bring back this Phoenix on the Voidwalker. I can kill this, and then if they want to do the Trash Master, they have to sacrifice it. I think that might be fine. There were other things. That's not in their hand anymore. What is Wily Goblin? That's the thing that's here. Oof, you want to talk about not focus. Phoenix onto our Voidwalker. We'll get rid of Fairy Macabre and Buried Alive. I am going to kill this guy and just push 8. Yeah, let's just push 8 damage here. So I guess they can go Trash Master plus 1 drop, but that uses up all their Muxus mana. What are you? You're the one that gives haste, and that thing blights. This is a 3/2. I'm going to attack. Yeah, just attack here. They chump Asmo with their 1/1. I can cast the Trawler. They have Muxus next turn. Yeah, I'm just casting my spells here. Exile your graveyard. So we know their hand is Barbarian Ring Trash Master. This thing is the one that can blight stuff to create treasures. Not feeling too good about this. But they chumped with the one that gives things haste, so, Muxus can't just attack us for like 15 this turn. Okay, this thing, you sack a goblin to regenerate. That stinks for us. Here's Muxy Boy. Come on, just brick. Just brick for daddy. If we draw a lightning bolt, we just win. So, yeah, like lightning bolt or chain lightning, we just win. They found a bunch of stuff. Recruiter. Oh, no. And what does this thing do? Destroy target land. That's okay. We don't really need that land. All right, they didn't find that many goblins. So if we shoot Muxus to tap him. They have to sacrifice something to save him. And they still have 2 blockers for our stuff. Yeah, just drawing a Fiery Temper, Chain Lightning, Lightning Bolt. I don't think we have Ghostfire Slice, nor will we have the mana to cast it, so whatever. Prospector, Ringleader, War Marshal, Franco, and Chieftain. Chieftain's really scary. What else do we have that just gets the game over with here? I'm not really sure. They can't afford to attack, so they don't. Go to end step, pitch this Oliphant. See, like, this is where I'd love to have an Animate Dead as just an extra out. That doesn't do it. Let's just shoot down Muxus, I guess. All right, they sack a goblin to regenerate. We go to combat and just attack because I'm done thinking. All right, and they sack to regenerate that guy now too. Let's surveil. I think we might have it. I really don't know. I don't want that land. I know that. So they can blight to make a treasure. Does Scrap Shooter kill enchantments too? I don't know. I took it off this thing. I'm done looking at whatever they have. They blighted Muxus. I think they have to answer Voidwalker and Phoenix this turn, though. I don't think they can deal me 18 here. But goblins can do a lot of stuff. They messaged me, damn, I needed Urborg. Oh, for the fetch, yeah. When they destroyed Urborg, they had to fetch for the mana they needed. All right. This hand's kind of stinky. Actually, this hand's really stinky. This is a for sure mulligan. Oh, if this had a land, any land, it'd be so good. Going to 5. All right, this has Magic the Gathering cards. Can't be too picky now. I think we just get rid of the 2 cards we can't cast. So Thoughtseize and Stalker. Is that wrong? Because if we draw a black source, but we have to be super aggressive here. Yeah, I think it just has to be... We're so land light, I'm just not confident that we'll draw an untapped black source. Maybe I get punished, but maybe not. Yeah, see? I'm the best alive. Mountain, say go. I'm not willing to go to 4 cards. And the first hand, like, sure, we can keep it and cycle the Street Wraith, and maybe we draw land, but we probably don't. I guess we would have had 2 draws at it. Maybe that was bad. I don't know. I don't know anything. Okay. Do we have a way to cast Asmo this turn? We do not. So I won't try. I'm going to get a basic swamp in case they're a Magus of the Moon deck, which I don't think would be very far outside the realm of possibility. Oh my god, Recruiter again? Stop it. All 3 games, this stupid Recruiter. Basic Swamp is immediately hurting us. I would love to have 2 red mana next turn. And they can clamp the Recruiter and just draw 2 of these cards. Probably Treasure Makers first, I guess. Just pump out this Muxus. Multi 5's pretty tough. If they're going for like a conspicuous Snoop Kiki Jiki type thing, this Bone Shards is really nice. So is the Fiery Temper. Oh my word. Oh, this frickin' guy. I hate him so much. This is a lot of cards. I don't know what order they're in. I guess probably this order, exactly. You seem pretty cooked. I'm not even going to bother looking at those anymore. Fury seems like an insane draw here. Yeah, Fury seems like just a cracked draw. Let's discard Bone Shards. I want to cast Asmo. Can't play the Mount Doom. Yeah, just can't play that. Cast Asmo, get our cookbook, and say go. Okay, we're doing stuff. I would keep the revealed cards up with like all the goblins they got, but I'm not going to be able to track it. Desperate Ritual. Lair of Duplication. That's sick. What a line. I think we're dead. That was sick. 0 complaints, opponent. Now this just brings out everything. And they're all hasty. And they're all huge. What a sicko. Yeah, Krenko gets to make 1 billion. That was sick. Okay. Like, the Ritual Flare, obviously that's, like, insane draw there. I want to see how much they hit me for. Yeah, and so they had that in hand, because we saw how they set up the top of their library, so that's just cracked. I told them I want to see how much they hit me for. I'm not blocking. I want to see the math. They said, oh man, I could have done so much more. I think this is plenty. Oh my gosh. I thought we would see like goblin and elf decks and stuff with Lorwyn. We go to minus 62. Okay, yeah. GG's got absolutely run over. This is my latest book. My therapist says this grief journal is a good idea. That was released in March of 2025 by Lanternfish Press. This is a dark comedy about family trauma that explores how important dogs are to the healing process. It is the literal grief journal of a man in his mid-20s whose father had tragically passed away, learning to grieve. It also comes with trigger warnings, but please consider checking it out. Link in the description below. Thanks. Round 3. on the draw against Grist again. Interesting. We have a turn 1 Asmo, so I'm keeping this. They go fetch Bayou and then pass. Interesting. So here I actually want to lead on Moonshadow. Do I? This kind of actually just like screams removal spell. So let's grief them, and I'll pitch. Do I want to pitch Barrogoyf? We're so far away from it in terms of lands. I am just gonna. And I would like to use the grief to grow the Moonshadow, but if it's just removal spell, then I think I'd rather do this. Yeah, just the fatal push there. Oh wow. Their hand is not good. So let's Moonshadow. And then next turn we can pitch the Macabre. Oh, actually, I want to wait for them to loam, because Macabbing out the loam will be really nice. I would still love to draw a land, but we can maybe steal this one anyway. All right, they're not loaming, and I do want to just get Bracken here. Gamble doesn't seem like the play. It's fine, I'll let them loam. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to let them loam. Like, we just absolutely need to start applying pressure immediately. Cast Asmo. I think I probably pitched the gamble. No, I might just be gambling for a land next turn. Here's the cookbook. Go to combat. Attack you for 2 and pass. Maybe just gamble for a Phoenix. That also seems reasonable to me. Here's Gristo. And Pyrokinesis is only creatures. It is not planeswalkers as well. It is not Fury. Significantly, well, not significantly worse than Fury, just worse than land. Untapped land. Untapped land. Dang it. Do we gamble for a land here? If I discard the cookbook, it's just absolutely brutal. Can't do that yet. I will think about doing it. Just can't do it yet. They pitched a cut down. Or no, they milled cut down. Milled. Didn't pitch. We know their hand is so bad that I kind of want to just pyrokinesis this thing and kill Grist. Because like Skull Clamp can pull them back into the game. I'm gonna do this. We're being like max aggression, let's be max aggression. And we're just gonna kill Grist here. Like, them having like infinite chump blockers or Asmo is annoying. I'm going to gamble probably just for Detective's Phoenix. I think I'm just gonna try to steal this game on 1 land. I can only gamble for Phoenix if we draw a land, that's right. Fury. This is 7. That's a food, not a cookbook. Just thinking, like, what's the best way to do this? I am gonna gamble for a land. Just gamble for a fetch land here. Of course, we discarded it. Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we? Did that? All right, but we get to attack for 8. This is half their life total. Any blocker they put in front of us, we can Asmo food. That is disappointing, though. Very disappointing. But that's why it's called a gamble. 5 mana, all black. Death Cloud. Ah. Okay, so we just have literally nothing now. We almost stole it. Death Cloud's sweet. Never seen that card. Goodbye, my only land. Look how big that Moonshadow got. Am I interested in playing this game anymore? Not really. I will, though. I'm gonna keep playing. Neither of us have anything. If they start paying life for stuff and I can find a red source and just fiery temper them, this thing gain life? This does not gain life. If it gained life, I would... Nethergoyf. You put the Nethergoyf into your heart. You're Goyf in the nether when the Goyfing starts. Nethergoyf into my brain. Well, you Nethergoyf and you Goyf, I'm the same. That's a song I wrote. It's called Nethergoyf. Here's a tainted wood. Taint. Oh, come on. Why didn't they haywire my doing it now? So okay. All right. I'm not interested in doing this. I was like, I'll keep playing. You know, the clock is a thing, and maybe we can dig our way out. Literally nothing. Just 2 foods. It was cool that we were able to do so much on 1 land, though. I can't keep this hand. God, these hands suck. I'm going to 5. All right, this is fine. I like Arena of Glory. Do I like Arena of Glory more than I like other things? I don't think so. Put back Arena and Iron Shield Elf. We'll go Imp, and then the turn after, pitch the Bloodghast and cast Asmo. All right, Imp is in there. Blooming Mash. Looks like they were thinking about killing the Imp and decided not to. That's how it looked to me anyway. Ooh, Voidwalker. I want to see if they're interested in killing Asmo before I rip a Voidwalker here. They're cutting down the imp. Yeah, sure. I think you do that. Yeah, I think they should have done that on their turn so that I couldn't cast Asmo here. Small thing, but I don't know actually. I don't know what's in their hand. But now I get to Asmo and Cookbook, which is nice for me. And then next turn I'll cast a Voidwalker. All right, they have 4 cards in hand. We have 2. We're ahead on board by quite a bit. I do kind of wish that we had more ways to draw cards, but that's just because I really like drawing cards. Okay, there's their Voidwalker. I think I probably just Chain Lightning that land. Ooh, baby. That's really tight, actually. Kill your Voidwalker, cast our own Voidwalker. They played an Urborg for us. That was very considerate. And we're hellbent and attacking for 5. I mean, we're attacking for 8 next turn. I really don't want to see 3 life come off. Strategic Betrayal. Okay, let's... I think we just exile Asmo. Yeah, we don't have any cards anyway. And I think Voidwalker and Bloodghast are both very good. So, goodbye, Asmo, Biba, Duba, Shiba, Fafa, Nile, Spellbomb. Okay, that's really annoying if the Bloodghast dies. Ugh, it's really annoying with Unearth, too. Let's hit for 5 here. They do only have 1 card in hand. I think it's fine to... Yeah, it's fine to pitch this Unearth and cast Asmo. Because this is 2, 5, 8. So they're effectively at 1. They never have to fetch because of the Urborg. Ox! Dang it. I think I am sacking the Bloodghast. If they want to rip the Spellbomb now, they don't get to draw a card, which I think is a big deal here. And we still have lethal on board. Goodbye, fetch land. And so they have nothing and we have lethal. They exile our graveyard. Okay, GG. I am for sure keeping this hand. This Faithless Looting to put the Poxwalker and Skyfire Phoenix directly into the graveyard, and the odds of Faithless Looting not finding us a land seem pretty low to me. Well, of course, whatever. All right, we're in bad shape. We are in bad shape because I need a land and a way to discard something, and I thought Faithless Looting was likely. With the redundancy in this deck, I thought it was just likely to do that. And I was wrong. Was very wrong. Haywire Might. That will have to eat a Pyrokinesis before I can do other stuff. Because I need this currency converter going to try to make some treasures, I think. Alright, let's see what we draw. And make a plan based off that. There's a land. I think with that in mind, I'm going to pitch the Detective's Phoenix. Because Anji's Ravager can get relevant cards into this game. They gain 2 life off their Haywire Might. We cast a currency converter and say go. If we draw a land, then we do get to Asmo, Poxwalkers, and Phoenix next turn, because we can loot off the currency converter and then cast Asmo for 1. They're rotating their crops, which is terrifying. Oh, I hope we don't just get Merit Lage this turn. No. Oh! Humidity Hatchery. It's Smallpox. Wonder if they have Smallpox in hand. That would be pretty brutal. Be pretty brutal. We can yield through this turn. Jukabog. Oh, we're dead. We're so dead. Shite. Frickin' shite. This game sucks. Let's convert currency. Oh, come on, deck. Pitch the Buried Alive. Yes, I would like to use the ability, and we will do nothing. These the 2 mulligans to 5 have been not good, and probably on me. I might be just being like way too aggressive, trying to like make sure Asmo's coming down on 1 or 2, but then once I'm on 5, I'm like, ugh, can't go to 4. I don't know. They took Barrogoyf instead of Duress, which is like mildly terrifying for me. They also could have taken the Ravager while I can't Madness, but this might just be Smallpox, Demonic Tutor. That almost has to be a creature. Otherwise, I just get to duress it. Anything reasonable. Honestly, anything reasonable. I'm not feeling picky. Just things to do. That is a thing to do, but I am more interested in duressing since they just demonic tutored. Yeah, I'll take the Smallpox. And say go. Yeah, Smallpox would be just absolutely devastating here. Dust Bowl. That's also really terrible for us. Grist. That dies to Bone Shards. And so now we have a target for Bone Shards, which is kind of nice. Because it lets us do Asmo stuff. So end step will make a guy. I'm going to put Buried Alive back into the graveyard. I don't want them reanimating a Barrogoyf. That seems really bad for us. Inti's fine. Let's shoot Grist. Discard Party Thrasher. Because I want Inti to be able to buff our guys. I know I looked at their hand, and I should probably remind myself before doing this. Emperor, Requiting Hex, Bloodghast. Okay, so they can Hex Asmo, but at least we have the cookbook now. That's fine. Yup. Asmo back to command zone. I really just need the cookbook to get stuff going. Lets me eventually like Ravager and stuff. I'll attack for 2. Yeah, and I just don't think with Emperor of Bones in their hand, I like don't think I can ever use currency converter to put Baraggoyf in the graveyard. I wonder if they're doing the Ulamog thing that I love to do. Emperor plus Ulamog, Annihilator 10. Here he is, the Emperor. They could Dust Bowl and just make a bunch of flying insects and put me on 1 land. Honestly, if they just Dust Bowled both our lands, I think we'd be absolutely cooked. Just like 100% undoubtedly cooked. They have 1 card in hand. They're going to take the Bone Shards out of the graveyard. Sure. Would you like to attack me for 1? You would not. Which makes good sense, because I could just make a blocker. Let's put Party Thrasher into the graveyard. Maybe I should have kept Party Thrasher instead of Inti. Just get so many more looks at lands. Yeah, probably bad. I can't really put Troll in the graveyard either. Alright, here's a cookbook. Swamp Cycle Troll. Put him under Currency Converter. I would like to use the ability. Currency Converter's awesome. Get a Badlands, play it, and then just pass the turn. Do I want to attack for 4? We're not winning the race, but their plays have seemed odd to me. I'm going to attack for 4 here. It's almost certainly wrong, because we're losing the race badly. They're trading their Emperor. Why? Why wouldn't you block with Bloodghast? Now I can put, like, Baraggoyf in the graveyard, or Troll. Okay, yeah, you've got a Grist. Like, Emperor's, I think, the last thing I would have blocked with. And then they sack their token instead of the Bloodghast. Okay. If they attack, we take 2 and kill Grist on the crackback? Yeah. I wonder if they have, like, an Animate Dead or something. I would rather, if they're going to have one of these cards, I would actually rather it be a Troll. I guess they can, like, Eumidian Hatchery at any time. I'm gonna cast Inti, go to combat, declare attackers, kill Grist, discard the Ravager, Inti counter on here, currency converter I don't want to use. Oh, this is so confusing. So many triggers. I want to cast this Ravager, try to get some cards back. I don't want to use currency converter, and I can't cast that Nethergoyf. Okay, things are now happening. This is worth 5 bugs if they Dust Bowl, but we now have things going on, thankfully. If they had just Dust Bowled me a couple times, this game would be super over. Like, super over. I'll take 2. The crackback here is pretty big. Land's not what I was looking for. Go to combat, attack with both. Inti will discard the Bloodstained Mire. That's doing us no good. Put the counter on Inti this time. So many triggers! I do want to use Currency Converter. Takenuma is fine. Can I channel Takenuma? Is that a thing I can do? No, because you have to discard it. Alright, let's cast Asmo. I will not use the ability. And we'll pass the turn. Very odd game. Opponent, I am sorry. I have to go to the bathroom. Something terrible. Okay, I walked away to just use the little boys' room for a second, and it looks like they cracked a windswept teeth and conceded. So, sure. Round number 4. On the draw against Vivi. I have not seen Vivi in quite a while. Like, really quite a while. Since Spider-Man 2099 has grown in popularity so much, Vivi has just sort of fallen off. The question here is, do we lead on Imp or Nethergoyf? And I think I'm going to lead on the Nethergoyf, and it can just be a wimpy 0-1. I really am more interested in this Putrid Imp into Asmo next turn. We have a tapped land and a land that hurts us. I think after Underworld Breach got banned, Vivi, like, really started to fall off. I know there are still a lot of dedicated pilots. I am so interested to see how this goes. They're cycling Lorien revealed, Volcanic Island, and then they don't move, which makes me a little sad. I'm going to play out this fetch land and cast Putrid Imp. If it gets countered, Goyf is a 1-2. Okay. What do I want to discard with the Imp? I'm going to crack the fetch. Goyf is a 1-2. Play a Badlands. Go to combat. Attack. Now, in response to damage, I'm going to pitch this Baron more. That didn't grow the Goyf. Silly. Pitch Spark Spray. I didn't grow the Goyf, I just wasted a land. And I also want to pitch Ivora. And let's get this Goyf out of Lightning Bolt range. The 3/4 now. I will try to cast Asmo. My hopes of this resolving are not high. It did work. So let's go get our cookbook, and let's pass the turn. All right, productive turn. They are peaking. They will see Emperor, Sundering Eruption, and cookbook. Very bad discarding this Baron more. Just literally wasting a card for absolutely nothing. They can get Vivi in here, and a player untapping with Vivi is very scary. Oh, they had a Simian Spirit Guide. So this is really scary, because in my experience playing against Vivi, they can just untap and kill you. Bauble, bauble. So Vivi's big already. Vivi's a 2/5. We can't get through that. Now they're using Vivi to make a blue and a red. Clout of the Dominus. That's really, really terrible for us. Now we can, like, never kill Vivi. It's a 5/8. I don't think they can afford to attack here, but yeah, they just have far and away the biggest creature. They are attacking. Interesting. Okay, I'll take 5. Go to 9. I imagine they'll cycle both baubles. They're at 16. I don't think we can get them dead from here. And I may want to just discard this Sundering Eruption to grow the Goyf. I don't know if we have anything that kills an enchantment. Is that like a really phenomenal draw? Can I do it without shrinking the Goyf? All right, here's the cookbook. They didn't find a mental misstep. Decisions. How much damage do we have? 6, 7. 6, 7. You kids and your street lingo and your dental dams. Jeez. So that makes the Goyf wimpy. If I discard Sundering Eruption to the cookbook, I then have to exile it to the Phoenix for this to be useful. So I think we discard the Phoenix, make a food. That Cloud of the Dominus just really does kind of ruin us. I think we're pretty dead. They have 4 cards in hand. I'm going to pay the 3 life here to cast this Emperor of Bones. I want another blocker. A subtlety here is backbreaking. Daze. That's also not great for us. I cannot pay, so I won't. Daze was just as bad. It's not just as bad, but it was really bad. I'm going to attack for 7 and pass. So if every card in their hand is a spell, we're just dead. Although they do have a bunch of cantrips and 8 mana. So I'll F6 through the turn and see if we're dead. I think we are. They Surveil. Surveil is not a spell that kills us. And maybe instead of doing the Emperor and the untapped land, I could just be at 8 right now. Vivi is still a scary deck. All right, they're making a billion mana with Vivi. Gearson. That's really interesting. I think that's cool. I think we're dead. They have to cast 2 spells. Block. Oh, wow. We're still alive. We have an attack for 7. No, we have an attack for more than that. The Phoenix still makes the Goyf wimpy, is the problem. This has Ward 2. I think we can do it. If they don't have anything, I think we can do it. They have 3 cards in hand, but I am going to go for it because feeling pretty dead. Shoot Gearson. He has Ward 2. We knew about that. Let's pay. So we'll be taking out Enchantment. I'm not going to do the full math. I'm just going to try to kill them. If they have a counterspell here, we're dead. 5, 8. So I can only put them to 1. Oh, no. They're not dead. They weren't dead, but they conceded. I don't know how maybe they see something I don't. I don't know. But cool. Turn 1 Asmo, we keep. Yep, turn 1 Asmo, we keep. I feel like that's, even if it gets countered or blown up or whatever, it is just objectively our best turn 1. And I didn't cycle the Street Wraith out of turn this time. And I'm going to go with the non-fetch land in case there's a stifle. Play Sokenzen, cast Asmo, and hope there's no, thing to deal with it. I imagine they'll crack in response regardless, just to put the fear in me. Yeah, they're just surveilling. It is funny how That seems to be a thing on Moto. Like if you have the blue fetch land, whether you have something or not, you just crack it. Days. Well, they did have it. I stand by the thing I was saying though. Asmo can go back to command zone. Bummer. Now what does our next turn look like? Not sure. Guess we can just cycle some stuff. They go with another fetch land. I would like to Thoughtseize them. I will crack this for a bad land. Bad lands and Thoughtseize you. Consult and Sleight of Hand. I think Consult is better. Sleight of Hand is less mana, which matters, but Consult looks at a lot more cards. And they will play a Steamed Vents tap to save the 2 life. Sleight of Hand. Yeah, so that Daze was their only interaction. I would have loved to have some sort of cheap follow-up. There's their mountain. And we will basic island cycle. Get a Swamp. Gao. Gao's pretty good. Cast Gao. Gao. Ah! Maybe they found something off of that Sleight of Hand. Seems reasonable. All right, Gao is in, and he dies to a lightning bolt. That's fine. Chugging along here. And Gao can come back off of Desecrex. Oh, Carnage. Carnage's name is Carnage. Desecrex is the through the Omen Path in Universe version. EI. EI is very good. EI is very good. Do I want to land cycle or regular cycle at their end step? If you know, tell me. If you don't know, we're on the same exact page. And they still have the Thundering Falls in hand, to my knowledge. I think it's better to land cycle just because this is an actual spell. I think I just grab another Swamp. I don't want to pay the 2 life, and I don't want to tap land. Just grab another basic. Stalactite Stalker, that's a card. It's not what I want to be doing, so I won't do it, but it is a card. Cycle this Feast. Draw Squee. Squee is cool. Cast Asmo. Nice. I want the cookbook to do cool stuff before I go for Pyrogoyf, who is already a 4/5. Man, Goyfs are so good. They fetch their Volcanic Island and pass. Well, they pass my end step. Whatever. Ay. All right, there's their basic island. They have 5 cards, and we know one is Thundering Falls and one is Sokenzan. What is this? When you cast a non-creature spell... Oh. It's kind of ooky spooky, actually. I would like to just straight up kill that. Does Gamble let us do that? It might. Oh, so many options right now. I'm definitely casting the cookbook. I know I'm doing that. If I gamble for just like Lightning Bolt, but then maybe we dump the Goyf, I'm going to pay the life. I am going to gamble here. I think that Ral just like making chump blockers that are also can be huge attackers is really bad for us. I'll actually grab Fiery Temper because that way if we did discard it... Oh, we discarded the best one we could have discarded. Tight. Oh, this was terrible. I'm so bad at this game. Cast a Stalker. What do you do for your minus? Draw 3, discard 2. Okay, so Gao can deal 2 here. I botched this. We'll go to combat. Declare attackers. Attack Ral. I do not want to play against something that just makes a chump blocker every turn. They are going to block. No real surprise there. Now I think we discard Carnage. Make a food. Cast Carnage. Alright, so we cast Carnage, aka Desecrex, aka whatever. We use him to bring back Gao. Gao shoots Ral in the... Oh no, it's each opponent. Okay. Whatever. I don't know how things work. He's each opponent, not any target. I thought he was any target. They are under a ton of pressure now. This Goyf is still a 4/5. It doesn't look like I can grow him. Draw 3, discard 2. That makes sense. Yeah, once I have this second food, I think this game gets a lot less stressful for me. I'm so scared of Vivi. It's the very good duel player named Drew from the Midwest just loves these Izzet decks, and he played Vivi at the last 2 MagicCon Duel Cups, which there will not be in Vegas. I'm very upset. Not the point. But playing against him, it was just like he untaps with Vivi, I die. He also had a billion reps with that deck. So mulligan decisions, I think, were pretty easy. Yes, use squeeze ability. I'm going to go straight to combat here. And I think I'm sending Gao and Carnage at Ral. And Stalker and Asmo at face. All right, things are happening to be expected. Sokin's on. So they make a pair of 1/1s. Do I want a Fiery Temper one? No, this is fine. They can block however they want to block. They can kill the Stalactite Stalker. They are blocking the 4/3 Trample. I don't think they know this has Trample. I probably would not either. Okay, yes, Ral is dead here. That has Menace, so yeah, they want to... I think I'm gonna save. I think I'm gonna save the Stalker. Do I care? Yeah, that menace. That menace seems good actually, because now they have 4 cards in hand, but like nothing, like literally nothing. And now Vivi dies to Asmo foods. I can't think of any sweeper they might have. So I think I want to Pyrogoyf them in the face. Yeah, just shoot them down to 7 and put like Mega Lethal on board. I can only think of like Fiery Confluence would be a huge blowout, I guess. But they're just like super dead on board. And I probably didn't have to do anything. The good play there is nothing. But I did what I did. Arena of Glory, Vivi. Not a hasty Vivi, just a Vivi. Cloud of the Dominus, I will obviously shoot it in response, because I can't if I don't do it right now. But then I can just yield through the turn. They need like a Tail's End or a Stifle here. I don't think they can grow Vivi to 6 toughness off 2 mana. But I've been wrong before. Okay, no, that just worked. Alright. GG. Right, 5th and final round. We are on the play against Tameshi. I know this is a CEDH deck and that it's a combo in Modern Belcher. I have no idea what it does as a dual deck. I assume the combo's the same. Very convoluted. I will not know when it's coming, but I will Chain Lightning Tameshi. This has to be like blue-white control combo. We have a turn 1 Asmo, so I'm keeping, even though it's 1 land. It is cool that I think Asmo is a deck that can keep 1 land. You're just trying to go so aggressive. Discard the Circling Vultures, get our bad land, cast Asmo Bibaduba Zabazibaza. If you know how to pronounce his name, great. You're better than me, okay? All I know is that Asmo Gabadaba Zibadubaboo is a chef from the underworld, and that's all I need to know. Okay? Okay. Seal of removal, that's brutal. That's actually brutal. Go to combat. Player attackers, seal of removal. I don't have a land, so I'll... Whoop. Still in combat. I will cast this Nethergoyf and say go. We're going to have to go to discard. But luckily, we have lots of things that are fine to discard. Wait. Oh, it's 7 in hand, not 8. Oh, we had 8 in hand. Talisman of Progress. Opponent, I am curious about you. I think we cycle the Scarab Feast here and try to hit our land. Seems smart to me. We did it. The best there's ever been. Cast Asmo. Goyf is a 3/4. I'm not going to use the ability because it doesn't have a target. And we'll attack for 3. Next turn, I think we go Stalker Cookbook. Tanglewire. Boo! What do you think you are? That stinks. We don't have any instance. Okay. Right, we have to tap 4 things. Yes, choose that. That's why I'm clicking. All right, tap all our stuff. Ooh, tight. That's just, a thing to do. They're misstepping the cookbook. Brutal. Sorry. Oh, no, because now we can't have, like, Gigundor constructs. Because the cookbook just makes your constructs so big. All the food tokens. Now we're looking for a discard outlet, I think. Do I cast the Stalker to try to apply extra pressure? I don't think that makes more sense than just attacking. Now I'll Chain Lightning. I know this thing combos. I don't know how, but I know it does. Tap Asmo, Takanuma, Urza Saga. No response there. Chain Lightning on Tameshi. and attack for 4. Right? 4? 5. Attack for 5. Huge goif. Goif, 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 goif. Next turn, we have an attack for 8. Seems good. It looks like they're like mono blue. How do you combo? You need like an artifact land and like a lotus bloom, maybe? I don't know. If and when it happens, we'll figure it out then. World map. So they probably do need an artifact land. Transmute artifact. Okay, so that's probably the lotus bloom. I think, like, I have a vague knowledge of how Tameshi combo works. Emphasis on vague. Very vague. They do only have one card, and they did get the lotus bloom, which is not currently cast Tameshi. And then they concede. Sure, I'll take it. Turn 1 Asmo, if we find a land we squelch. We've got removal for Tameshi. Seems lovely. Seems lovely to me. And we've got, what, 3 draws to find a land? That's hopefully enough. Oh yeah, baby. Look at us just, like, keeping one-landers. Oh, sick. Blazemire Verge, cast Asmo. I really don't care if this resolves or not. Cool. Our hand is so good. Back to command zone with ye. Oh, they're suspending the bloom. I think that's pressure. Like, that represents a good amount of pressure. Monument, sick. Do I want to just play the colorless land rather than risk... Oh no, this doesn't tap for red. I have to. I have to fetch here. Okay, we didn't get Stone Rained, aka my favorite play. Get a mountain, and cast a Squelch. Card seems really good against blue decks. If they cast Tameshi, we can Lightning Axe this Tanglewire. Again, what is this guy's deal? Card's annoying. I think we just cast a Putrid Imp, say go. They have 2 cards in hand. Is Tameshi like a 1-card combo with Lotus Bloom? The Mycosynth Garden becomes a Lotus Bloom? I really have no idea what's happening, but I know that Putrid Imp plus Monument to Endurance is really good. So we'll have to tap down 1, 2, 3, cast the Monument, and just start going crazy. All right, here's the Lotus Bloom. Are we dead? They have 2 cards in hand. If they cast Tameshi, it dies. I don't know what's happening. I do, for the record, I adore Tanglewire as a Magic the Gathering card. This card's so sweet. All right, they are sacking their Lotus Bloom for 3 white and casting Tameshi. I have no response to that. I won't have enough mana to Monument and Lightning Axe, which is what I would like to do. All right, here's another land. So they have access to 4 mana. They are sorting my Squelch. I can't do anything about it, so I won't try to. Ha, we're at 18. Tanglewire. You got it. We have to tap down 3 things. Let's do those. Okay. Discard Bloodghast. Play our fetch land. Bring back Bloodghast. We will Lightning Axe Tameshi. Lightning Axe Tameshi. And I think I'm just going to pitch this Ash Barrens. I don't think we'll need that. And I'm just going to Surveil now so I can save the time. I don't want Takanuma. All right, they're at 16 with a lot of mana represented. That's 3, 4, 5. They have access to 6 mana here. I would like to just kill Tameshi again. I think it's just like pretty integral to their win condition. I think it is their win condition, maybe. I don't know. Getting back the Lotus Bloom. Okay, Tanglewired again. We have to tap 2 things this time. I think it's just both our creatures. Bone Shards is... that has to just be great. Cast our Monument. I'll sacrifice the Bloodghast. Wait. I targeted the Bloodghast. No. We target Tameshi. We sack the Bloodghast. And we pass the turn. Okay. Putrid Imp plus Monument feels pretty good. So now they have 6 mana. Tameshi costs 7. Teferino Paparino. Okay. I hate that. Bouncing the Imp. Do I want to use him in response? To draw a card or make a treasure? I don't think so. Like, we can just Mayhem the Desecrex. Desecrex is a cool name. That's way better than Carnage. I think. Tap our Monument, because it doesn't matter. Galvanic Discharge. That kills Teferi. It also kills Tameshi. But I can't kill Tameshi at instant speed. Cast our Imp, discard Desecrex. I want to draw a card from the monument. Buried Alive. Buried Alive is good. This is by far the grindiest game we've played. They are sacking their Lotus Bloom to Tails and Desecrex. Sure. They have a blue floating. So now we are at a point in the game where I have no idea what's happening. Tameshi costs 1 million. Tameshi costs 7. They have 4 mana. Lotus Bloom is in the graveyard. I'm going to Buried Alive for what? Ox of Agonis, because I can make a treasure by discarding not Buried Alive, or if we just draw a land. So we get like Ox of Agonis, Detective's Phoenix, and maybe a Poxwalkers. I need to look at the list. I hate looking at lists mid-game. I hate it. Could also get... no, I can't get Daredevil. Could get Skyfire Phoenix. I think it's Poxwalkers, Ox, and Detective's Phoenix. They are reshaping. Search your library for an artifact with mana value X. X is 1. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Oh, I wonder if they're a Dreadnought deck. I bet they are. Soul Guide Lantern. Taking the Bloodghast. Okay. Soul Guide Lantern's really bad, actually. I take back my okay. That stinks, actually. I would like to duress them, for sure. Just lands. Okay, that's tight. Urza's Cave is one of them. Let's discard Buried Alive. I would like to draw a card. Bowmaster seems awesome. Let's go to combat. And then if they try to cycle this Soul Guide Lantern, we'll flash in the Bowmaster. Otherwise, we'll just do it in their upkeep. I want Bowmaster to resolve, is what I'm saying. All right, cool. Flash in Bowmaster. Shoot your face. They draw their card, and Bowmaster shoots their face. And now we have 5 damage on board. They're at 11. Putrid Imp can let Monument dome them. So they're effectively at 3. They play the Urza's Cave. And a Retrofitter Foundry. That's kind of annoying. How much mana do they have? 1, 2, 3, 4. It costs 2 to make the 1/1. And then 3 to untap it. So do they have something to tap with this to add mana? No. So I can attack with Imp and Orc Army here. I can also cast Asmo. And since I don't want this land, I think we just shoot them in the face. I think that's where I'm at. We're at the, this game has kind of gone long enough phase. I'll shuffle. Oh wait, I haven't even gotten the cookbook yet. Oh, dang. I don't know why. I thought I had already gotten the cookbook and it was gone. That's crazy. Let's attack with our 2 2-power creatures. They go to 4. Yeah, if I'd realized that we hadn't already done the stupid cookbook thing, I would have just cast Asmo, gotten the cookbook, used the cookbook to pitch the land, drawn a card. Yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine. Are they tapping out for Tameshi, or are they doing something crazy? Okay. They tapped a bunch of mana and conceded. Asmo. I think that's a 4-1. Very cool. All right, that is a 4-1 finish with Asmo beepity boppity hoobity doobity. This deck is good. This was kind of a weird league, I felt like. I'll go through it. Match 1 against Grist, they just dirtled a little too long, and we just attacked through them. Match 2 was an absolute dumpstering by Muxus in games 1 and 3. Yeah, I don't know. We just got absolutely trashed when they did their thing. They did find the Goblin Recruiter all 3 games, which feels incredibly important. But we also went to minus 62 after their full attack in the last game, which was sweet. That Desperate Ritual flare of duplication, that line was sweet. Match 3 was Grist again, and our opponent just never really did anything. Like, they never even tried to cast Grist. That one felt a little weird. Match 4 against Vivi, the first game they conceded to an attack that wasn't lethal, and I think they almost had to have had us dead on the following turn, but yeah. And then game 2 was just super aggro. That 5th match against Tameshi, like I said, I don't think I've ever once played against Tameshi in Duel. I know it's a combo deck, but we just had removal for Tameshi over and over, and it just kind of felt like two non-games. Um, that said, the thing I really liked about this Asmo deck was how well it operated on very few resources. You don't care about having a hand. You don't ever. It feels like you don't ever need more than two lands because if you have something you can't cast, you just dump it for value. Very, very fast clock, a lot of pressure. Being able to go Asmo on turn 1 or 2, I think, is the most important thing. I'm sure I could have made better mulligan decisions at some point. Mulling to 5 twice, including one of the Muxus games where we just did nothing and got run over. But I think this deck is very good. It is very strong. In paper, I know it doesn't do as well as Deadpool, and Deadpool was in the 99s of every Asmo list that I saw. But Deadpool's not on Magic Online, and I've played against Deadpool a fair amount, and it's just a very different deck. It just has that really oppressive play pattern, whereas this one, you just want to go fast, kill their stuff, and attack them. So this deck felt really, really strong. This is definitely a viable competitive option, despite a weird league playing against decks that I don't normally see. Sans Grist, but like I said, those felt weird. Regardless, if you like Rakdos, if you like the graveyard synergies and the discard value, this deck is definitely for you. It's also important to note that this is a pretty good budget option for getting into Duel if you can play this deck very easily without the Badlands. And that's the only card that's really expensive in the whole list. So I think without the Badlands, I'm going to check. But I think without that card, like this deck costs less than a current top tier standard deck, which is crazy, but standard apparently has gotten very expensive. Yeah, without the Badlands, this deck is like $650, which for an Eternal deck that can be really competitive, I think is pretty good. So this was Asmo. I'll never learn to pronounce it. You can't make me. If you can say the name perfectly, you're a better person than I am, I guess. So thank you so much for being here and dueling with me, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.